Well, how the heck has this week been for you? Kind of wet and rainy, hot and sticky, down into the 50s sometimes. Here in our North Carolina mountain home, it's been all of that and a little bit more. Hi, I'm Owen from Van Trekking Lifestyle, and we're glad you found our channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're glad you're here with us. We put out a video just like this every single Sunday. Last week when we left you, we said we were going to be traveling again this week, and well, you'll learn in just a few minutes that that wasn't a true statement. And we start out this week's episode with me having a conversation with me, as I try to convince me that it's not a safe time to go out to campgrounds if it's not going to be pretty, which it wasn't this week. And then our version of making lemonades from lemons as we take in the Blue Ridge Parkway on a rainy, cloudy, foggy day. In the Griddle Me This section, we'll griddle up fancy hot dogs. That's right, fancy hot dog. And then we'll answer a few of your questions, and at the very end, our look at nature this week, it's a look at our noisy neighbors. There are millions of them. We'll explain that. We're glad you're here. And now on to that conversation with my redneck twin. Owen, you ready to go camping, man? Let's go. Come on, the governor said the campgrounds are open. Come on. Man, I'm so tired of this daggum COVID-19 stuff. I just want to go camping. You ready to go? I'm ready, but don't you think we need to be smart about it? You know, we live in North Carolina. There's a lot of cases here. Dude, you're as scared as an old long-tailed cat on a front porch full of rocking chairs. Have you not been paying attention to the governor? He said we can go. I saw him yesterday. He said if you wear your mask, you can go outside, do anything you want to do. We're open for business. Masks don't protect you, man. They don't protect you. They protect other people from you. And haven't you seen all the people walking around that don't even wear masks? Do you really want to risk that just to go camping one weekend? I don't worry about that crap. I don't worry about stuff like that. I just want to smell a campfire, and the campgrounds are open. So what are open, but that doesn't mean you should go, especially if the people there are not practicing the 3 W's. Three W's? Like women, whiskey, and wrestling? You know folks at campgrounds, they all are going to be practicing that. No, wear, wait, and watch. You just see, that's why we got to be careful. Women, whiskey, and wrestling. Gee. Well, I might not be as smart as you, but ain't all campgrounds outside? And even the president of the United States, he said we could all go outside no matter what anybody said. Heck, he even went golfing this past weekend, didn't he? You're right. Outside is a lot safer. But you still have to be smart about the campground that you choose and the area you're going to go to. So, Smarty Pants, how do you do that? Well, first, you pick a couple of really, really cool places that you really, really want to go to. Really? What do you mean? I just want to go anywhere. Anywhere except I really agree with you. But if we're going to venture out, then we're taking a risk. And you have to consider that thing, a risk versus reward. Risk versus reward. I might be following you. Like that time I tried to wrestle an alligator to impress my old lady. That finger, I haven't been able to feel anything in that finger since they sewed that back on, by the way. yeah, something like that. But more like there's a chance that you're going to get exposed to the virus. So you don't want to take a risk just to go to just any old campground. You get it? Okay, I guess it makes sense. But we know the campground we're going to, and it's awesome, and the fishing's good, so let's just go. We could go, but it would be safer to check the per capita COVID-19 cases in that county first. The capita what? You know, I just want to go catfishing and smell a campfire. Make some s'mores, you know. I don't care about stuff like that. I don't even know what you're talking about, and it's bound to cost a lot of money. Let's just go camping, dude, please. No, there's a free way to do it. Just go to weather.com of all places. There's a COVID-19 tab. You can find the county we're going to, like this one in Chesterfield County, and they'll show you you're looking for the number of cases per 1,000 residents. That's the per capita number we were talking about. If that number is really high, then that's not a good place to go right now. But actually, look, the one we're wanting to go to is only 0.58, so that's pretty low. Pretty low? That's not even $1. We should go. That's a good campground. Let's just hit the road. I'm gonna grab my stink bait, and you tell Lynn that we'll be back when she smells us. Not just yet. We need to check the weather too, in case it's gonna rain. God, man, you're killing me. We've gone fishing in the rain a bunch of times, and you know the fish love to bite when it's raining, so we're not going to melt. Normally you'd be right, but these days, with the risk that you're going to take, if you're going to take that risk, you want everything to be perfect, don't you? You want pretty days in a safe place. That just makes sense. So you want everything to be pretty. So if you're going to take a risk, it's kind of like when we kissed that girl in high school that had that cold sore. You know, if she hadn't been pretty, we wouldn't have done it. Is that what you mean? Well, that's one way to put it. But if it's going to rain, then you probably don't want to go. And I'm sorry to tell you, but it looks like it's going to rain at the campground we're going to go to this weekend. So we should probably postpone going. Kind of like a NASCAR red flag, you know, ragging that thing around. I miss NASCAR, don't you? Wait a minute. Does that mean we're not going to get to go camping this weekend? I miss all sports now, even wrestling. But that's a great way to put it. Now you're getting it. And there's a few more things we need to think about, buddy. Like, we don't go on weekends when it's really, really crowded, unless that's the only time you can go. And you got to skip the national parks and places that are going to be super, super crowded, especially on weekends. You know, a lot of those old RV parks we go to, they cram you in there like sardines. You know, and sometimes I've been sitting there at my picnic table, and the dude right beside of me, he's come out to empty his pooper, and his cousin Eddie, some of it's got right on my picnic table, and if you eat after that gets there, you can catch that COVID-19 too. I'm not sure about that, but avoiding the cramped RV parks would be a really good idea for you and for Cousin Eddie. And speaking of sardines, I love sardines and crackers, don't you? I bet if you was eating a can of sardines, nobody would get within 6 feet of you. So you should be able to go anywhere you want to go. Well, wait a minute. I just thought of something else too. You know, it's like my bumper sticker. If I got me a t-shirt that had a logo on the back of it that said, if you get closer than 6 feet to me, I'm going to flick a booger at you. I bet that'd be a popular t-shirt. We'd sell a bunch. I bet we'd sell 7 or 8 of them, don't you think? I'm not sure about the sardines, but that would be an awesome t-shirt, man. We might even sell a dozen of them. A dozen? Wow, we could use that money for stink bait, for shrimp, for worms. We could even get some Corona beer, hold the virus, and the fireworks, electric bug zappers, and red box rentals, and firewood, and... Well, that's how Lynn and I decided we were not going to go to the little South Carolina State Park that we originally booked to go to yesterday. I had a conversation with myself trying to convince me and myself and Lynn that that was either a good idea or a bad idea. And the little skit that we just played for you, well, that's kind of the way it played out in my mind and kind of the way that it played out when Lynn and I talked to each other about it. If you've got to teach a redneck how to be safe and go camping, and the safest way to do that, play them this video and maybe it'll help them to understand. But for most of us, just know this. Don't go when it's crowded. Check the COVID-19 per capita number and check the weather. If those 3 things really match up and it's a place you really want to go to, then just be smart and be safe and make sure you tell us about where you go. We hope you enjoyed this. So where are we going today?
I think we're going to go to Doughton Park. We're going to try to anyway.
We know we're pretty lucky. 15 miles from our front door is the largest park on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And there are just miles and miles and miles of trails that we can go hiking on.
I think there's 30 different trails within that park. So hopefully we can find one that we can do. And that Maggie will like. Yeah, Maggie's going to go. Normally, the last few times we've gone, we've been taking the bikes. But we realized that we're leaving Maggie at home, so today we're going to leave the bikes at home and we're going to take Maggie for a hike there. We're dodging raindrops, so we'll do our best to make it there before it starts raining. You guys know what that's like because I think it's been raining everywhere. But come along with us as we ride out to Doughton Park on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
we took the long way to get here, but we made it. Then we found a place we're going to do a short hike. We're up in the clouds and in the fog, but it'll be
okay. It'll be pretty.
Maggie's excited for sure. She's glad we brought her along. Payoff for hikes like this kind of view. It is just worth every mile we drove, which wasn't that far anyway. What a wonderful day. Every now and then you turn a corner and you find something wonderful, like a bench. Not just a bench, but a bench with this kind of view. Wow.
Thank you for waiting on us. You having fun?
Pop, pop, pop. Let me show you this new addition that Lynn, she did most of the work. I helped her cut it and measure it. But you've seen the roll-off screens for the Travato vans. We didn't want to spend $800 for one, and we didn't like all the bulk on the side. So Lynn made this one. We ordered the parts from Amazon. Magnets down the middle. And if you want to go in, you just do this. Works really, really well.
Who makes the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
My wife does. What's the best part about owning the van?
I don't know. What do you think the best part is?
You'll never answer a question, you know that?
I don't know. There's a lot of good things about owning a van. Do I know what the best is? Being able to go anywhere you want to go.
How nimble it is, how short it is from front to back. Park in a regular parking spot just like this and
go anywhere you want to go. But I'm considering buying a trailer.
No. Won't that make it too long?
It definitely changes the way we travel.
So any of you guys that have a van, do you have any of you pull a small trailer behind you. We're seriously considering that. It's a significant purchase, but it will allow us to keep our brand new bikes brand new for a little bit longer without them being out in the elements. Give us room to put the room, room for the room, room for better chairs, room for the griddle,
inflatable kayaks.
But every foot you add to the length of the van or the camper kind of limits where you can go, doesn't it?
It does. And we actually have this conversation every season.
About every month.
Not every month. When we're on a trip, we don't usually. Well,
yeah,
Florida, we almost bought one in Florida.
We looked at a 5x12, which is too big. The one we're looking at now is the 4x6 with the little top that lifts up. Don't know. So the best part about the van is we can go anywhere in it and park anywhere in it.
And right now, I mean, the best thing about it is that you have your bathroom with you. You can wash your hands. It's just from this social distancing thing that we're doing right now, it's really nice for that.
It is. It makes it like being at home. We are at home right now.
We're in our second home.
Turns out, the way the crow flies, this is maybe 15 minutes away from our home. But the way the van has to drive, it's closer to 45 minutes away from our home. So it's a little bit of a drive, but we don't mind that.
But it's a great day trip.
Mm-hmm. Even if you can't go camping, that's one of the things we recommend that you do now is take day trips and go out and spend some time out in nature. Especially if you have a van like this, or you're getting one, or you have a small RV, take it out and enjoy it and just get away from people, but still get to be out in nature. It's got to be good for you to be out in the sunshine and the fresh air and
get some exercise.
Maggie, you ready to drive home? That wasn't exactly a deer. That was the Mountain to Sea Trail sign.
We can make it happen. Turn things around. Let's be the change we want to see.
We stopped at our local Food Line store here so we could get everything we need to be able to cook a griddle meal tonight and show you guys. Where's your mommy, Mag? Where's your mommy? Where's your mommy? On the griddle tonight, griddled hot dogs. Another Sam the Cooking Guy recipe that we've tried and we love, and we think you're going to love it too. Here, let's get started. First thing we got to do is put our cast iron pan on here and let it start getting hot. So very first thing we need to put in the pan, 2 pieces of bacon chopped up. So we're going to let that go until it's just starting to turn brown and get crispy, and then we're going to add some hamburger to that. The bacon's ready now. It's about half cooked and not quite crispy. At this point you want to add in, we're doing half the recipe. So this is 1/2 of a pound of hamburger, 80-20 hamburger meat. And that's all you got to do to that. We're going to let that brown up, add a little bit of seasoning, and that'll be all we'll have to do to this. Hamburger and bacon is ready. Onion powder, garlic powder, little salt, little black pepper, and then chili powder. Next ingredient is the secret ingredient. This is chipotle, diced chipotle peppers. And we want, about that much of that. We want just a little Dijon mustard. So this is about 4 ounces for half the recipe of tomato sauce. We want a couple of little dishes of Worcestershire sauce. And then we want...
I like how you measure.
I know. Then we're going to stir that up. You put one thing in there that's a secret sauce. Cheers. Just a little beer that brings everything together. Man, that smells so good.
Time to go get the dogs.
Time to get the dogs. Who let the dogs out? Who? So it's been about 10 minutes. You can look and see the chili is starting to get pretty good and happy. Next step, you don't have to do this step, but we found that it works even better and it tastes even better on the griddle, is you want to score all your hot dogs. I like just to let things heat up before I put salt and pepper on them. They seem to take the seasoning better. And I like to take a little bit of the butter, let that drip down into the hot dogs. Yeah. So that chili will lay in that. Man, well, you guys are going to be making these. And if you do, make a video of yourself doing this. We have one of Mark sent us a video of him doing a happy dance after he did his cooking. And
Owen happy food dance.
we love seeing that.
That made Owen's day.
It's just the best thing. And I'm betting I'm going to be doing a happy dance, Mark. Take a little butter here. These buns are going to go down for just a little bit. Butter your buns. Hot dogs are ready to come off. Maggie hopes I do.
I know. You'll get one.
8 Nathan hot dogs cooked to perfection. So we'll take the chili and the hot dogs and the buns inside and we'll assemble them and show you how to do that. Okay, first thing, look how beautiful those buns are. We'll put a bun down. This one looks fine. I'm gonna do a hot dog. Take a little of the chili. Wynn's gonna like this because it is spicy. You can't have a chili cheese dog without cheese.
What kind of cheese?
It is Colby Monterey Jack cheese. I'm gonna put a little of that on there.
Uh-oh.
If you guys watch Mark and Trish of Keep Your Daydream, they love using this to start their outdoor fires, and I do too. But I tell you what, it really works well for melting your cheese. Because who wants to have cheese that isn't melted? I'll fix that bun a little bit right there. That looks good.
You're getting fancy.
Tell you what. Thank you, Sam, for showing me that. Sam, the cooking guy. And then now, put a little bit of onion on there. And now,
losing your onions.
Oh, I'm coming to get me, Elizabeth. Oh,
Coming to get me.
God. Man, that's great stuff right there. Griddle me this, can you make hot dogs on a griddle? I think you're learning from us, you can make anything on the griddle. Fire that puppy up and make something good. If you make these hot dogs there, send us a picture of them or tell us that you've done it. If you put anything on it that you love, that you think we would love, go ahead and tell us in the comments down below. Until next week, this is going to be a good dinner. We're going to get to eating. We'll see you around the griddle. Your hot dog, go ahead. Got a good hot dog. Man, oh man.
In this section of the Q&A, I'm going to try to answer a question from Stephen Will. His question is, what is the overall length of your van with all racks attached and the height with the Thule carrier? The reason for my question has to do with storing the van in a garage. Well, the overall height with the Thule is 10 feet 5 inches. Without the Thule, it is 9 feet 3 inches. The length is 24 feet with the bike rack with the extender. And without the bike rack, of course, it's 21 feet. If you're considering getting a GL, I'm not sure that you'll be able to add a Thule to the roof. So you just might want to double check on that. And also, if you're worried about the length of it, you can also take your bike rack off and store it in your garage and not worry about the length and just saying it's 21 feet long. Thank you for your question. We appreciate it. Now to the next question.
So Martha Manigrove has been asking, I know she's asked 4 or 5 times and we just never really get around to it. What kind of equipment do you use and what software do you use and how do you edit and create your videos? I'm really glad you like them so much you want to know, Martha. So here I'm going to try to answer that. So let's talk about the big things. The camera. The first camera Lynn's holding right now, it's an A6400 from Sony. We've had it for about 1.5 years. We take 3 lenses with us with that camera. The one that's on it now, which is a very, very small pancake lens. We take this really good G lens that you see a lot of good footage from, and it goes 18 to 105 with an f4. And then we have this lens, which is a telephoto, and this little guy goes f4.5 to 6.3, it goes 55 to 210. Most of the wildlife you saw from Alaska and some of the other places came from this thing. So that's that. Next camera, an Osmo Pocket, DJI Osmo Pocket, a camera that we love. It comes on and it has a gimbal. So we love that guy. Next camera, this camera flies. It's a DJI Mavic Air. It'll last, the only complaint I have about this, guys, maybe flight time, 20 minutes or so. But that's a really good, inexpensive way to get a very good quality drone. Next camera, actually they're phones. While we were in Florida this year, we upgraded our phones because it was time. We got 2 iPhone 11 Pros because the cameras on the back of these guys are awesome. And the audio that comes from these phones, the question that one of you asked about the specifics of how do you get such good audio? A lot of times the audio is coming from this phone. It records in stereo. It really gets rid of a lot of the wind noise. And when we zoom in, the sound in the microphone zooms in as well. And we've noticed a difference with that. And they're phones. If you see us out on the bike or on the water or anything else that's action, our action camera is a DJI Osmo Action. We love it. It's cool. It was on sale for $224 recently. I don't know what it is right now, but it's a perfect little camera. It has a front-facing screen and a back-facing screen, and it's been wonderful to have so far. So that's every camera that we take. We have several that are in the box in there that have either broken or we don't use anymore. We go through them sometimes like candy, but that's what's in our bag right now from a camera perspective. With every camera you have to take batteries. These are the batteries. The big 6400, we have a RAV power that will charge 2 batteries at a time for that. It works really, really well. One of the problems we have in the van is that the charger that comes with the Mavic Air, the batteries come out of it. We found a third party that will do 4 of them and they won't come out. It's awesome and it does a good job of that. Those are 4 batteries. By the way, we always try to charge batteries for electronics when we're rolling down. We always try to charge batteries for electronics when we're rolling down the road and the alternator and the engine are running. We have this thing called Always Be Charging, ABC. Last but not least, 3 little batteries that are waterproof that go with the DJI Osmo Action. And that's every battery. We charge our phones beside of our beds at night in the USB plug, so we really don't have to take a charger for that. That's how we charge everything. All right, camera equipment's great. Lynn's not gonna always hold the camera for you though, and sometimes you really do need it to be extremely stable. These are all the tripods and accessories. Geez, we live in a van most of the time. This is what we take. Okay, really nice Manfrotto free spinning tripod that we need to use a lot more than we do. Probably don't use this one as much as we should. This is our main Ranger aluminum tripod. Awesome. That's the one we use a lot. And it has a quick release that works with the big camera that Lynn's holding now. We have a really lightweight aluminum tripod that used to belong to Lynn's dad that has some sentimental value to us. That we have it set up exclusively to put the phone on so we can do time lapses and other things. Lynn loves this little Manfrotto. This guy's awesome. It's comfortable to carry. Also has a quick release, so if you see anything hanging out the window with a camera or a phone, it's probably on this little tripod there. This is a newer one for us, but it has legs, and that's really cool. It'll stand up, but the neat thing is it's pretty small. It'll fit in the backpack, and it extends out like that. And if you see us walk by a camera when we're out on a trail, this is probably the tripod we use for that. Sometimes you have to clip something to a tree or a fence or something else. That's set up for the Osmo Pocket. There's a case for that. That's set up for the Osmo Action, and you can clip things with that. And then these phone mounts fit to any of these, and our phones will fit inside of there. And that's what we have to carry. And if you see me fishing, and you can actually see out into the water, I usually will have this and the Osmo Action clipped to my hat. Whew, that's everything.
So how about the car? What do you have in the car or in the van?
Oh, yeah, so in the van we also have a mount that is glued down that allows me to put either the Osmo Action or the DJI Osmo Pocket to that. And you've seen footage from both of those. And recently we've adapted that so that we can also put the Sony on there, because the audio coming from the Sony is just awesome. So speaking of audio, let's move on to the audio part of this. A lot of times we're just like a lot of other vloggers. If you see us out somewhere, usually there's a big camera, and that big camera is going to have this big raccoon thing sitting on top. That's affectionately known as a dead cat. On top of the camera, underneath the dead cat, is a Rode Micro. It's an awesome mic. The DJI Osmo Action has really good sound. It has really good abilities to take the wind out, but it also has an external adapter that will fit on the side, and any microphone that I'm going to show you can be used with this as well. That same thing goes with the Osmo Pocket. We have 2 lapel mics that work really well. They can be used with the phone or with the big camera, or with this adapter. We can use both of them at the same time and record Lynn on the left channel and me on the right channel. And sometimes you've seen us facing each other and doing that. The last microphone is this little guy. It's available on our Amazon store, and it also can be used in the phone or any of the cameras. And it's really good quality for like a $25 mic. I was really surprised when we got it, and it's so easy to use and so small. So all the footage and all the photos and videos and sound, all that's just wonderful. But if you don't have something to edit with, you're just like a $5 hooker. So this is an iPad Pro 12.9. Everything that you saw in the Alaska series and the Florida series was edited on this 12.9 iPad. We really now are in love with our brand new MacBook Pro. This thing is awesome. It flies. It has no problems editing 4K video. If you get footage, you got to be able to get it into the computer. We've got a little adapter for the USB-C port that will allow us to bring the cards and anything else in. And you're going to run out of space, so you need at least a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte SSD to attach to this thing, and we've got that. The camera is where all the magic happens. This is where all the magic comes together. We can't go wrong with the MacBook and Final Cut Pro as far as I'm concerned. So, whew, Martha, you see why I put off answering that question so long. It's such a detailed question to answer, and I hope I did it justice. We've learned in the past that there are a small few of you that are really interested in the equipment. Most of you just want the photos and the videos and the sound to sound good and look good and be pretty, and you want as much of that as you can get. If you're thinking about doing this, I still say a lot of that stuff that we have, we really have to justify having it. The thing that does most of the grunt of the work, if you had an iPhone 11 Pro, you could edit the videos on here and you could take really good video and audio with this. Honestly, it's getting very, very close to this is all you need. But you can tell a difference in the quality of the video and the photos and even the audio on the bigger cameras, especially when it comes to those blurry backgrounds and bokeh that people want to see. That ends this session. Thanks a lot for sticking around and watching this. If you've got a question that you'd like for us to answer in the future, how about just leaving it in the comments below and we'll try our best to get to it as soon as we can. Thanks for being part of this journey. Hope I didn't bore you too much with this one.
We'd like to thank you this week for joining us in our journey that we call life. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and while you're there, hit that subscribe button. So we'll leave you with this week's look of nature. It's a noisy one. It's the emerging of the cicadas. Actually, to the amount of over 1 million insects per acre of land. What you hear right now in the background is their mating call. They're not harmful insects, and they do provide food for a lot of other animals. Enjoy, and remember, each day is a blessing.
When you live in the woods, it's usually quiet and peaceful, but when these cicadias come out every 17 years, like you can hear over our shoulder here, not quiet and peaceful anymore, at least not for the next couple weeks. They just keep getting louder and louder every single morning.
Hitching a ride.